Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers, episode 1, 2, 3.
Mm.
I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, happy Sunday, friend.
Yeah, happy Sunday to you as well, and well, it's not Hanukkah. I don't know why Hanukkah sounds right to me right now, but it sounds right, so I'm just gonna say it. Happy Hanukkah, and yeah, it's good. It's a good day to talk about VR,
Hanukkah.
right?
I think it may be Yom Kippur. Is it Yom Kippur right now?
Somebody in the chat
Yeah,
probably knows.
yeah. I watched like a video on YouTube last night. There was some body of water over there that turned blood red on the
Mm.
first day of Yom Kippur, and of
Ooh,
course, people were freaking out about it.
wow.
Uh,
There's a lot of stuff like that, man. Blood moons and blood red algae. It's always explained away. Who knows what it is? It's probably nothing, but it could be something.
could be ketchup. You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So I think I've just had a big batch of ketchup just spill in the river. You're right. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of explanations for everything, right? So,
Eddie C says, "Happy Kwanzaa." Well, a happy Kwanzaa to you as well, friend. So, gaming science teacher says, "Yes, the Jewish high holidays have just ended." So, we're not too far off, anyway.
yeah, yeah. It just felt like that. You know what I mean? Some days just feel like Thursday or Friday. You think it feels like Friday and it's really Wednesday. Feels like Hanukkah to me. So, but
Yeah, and it's interesting to observe the differences in traditions between like a Christian culture like ours and Jewish culture, which are similar in many ways but different. For example, for Christmas, we might give a gift, like say a game. Like say I give you like a $35 VR game for Christmas. They wouldn't do that in Israel. Instead, what they would do is they would give each other instead of one game on Christmas, they'll give each other a series of shorter tech demos over the course of 12 days.
Who doesn't love tech demos? We are going back in time, right? Thank God we're out of tech demos. I can't wait to get back into tech demos when AR starts rolling out. We can start doing tech demos for all of that. But as far as VR, I am done, and I'm ready for some meat on the bone, right?
Well, the good news is that Sony's done with it too. I mean, that was part of their stated thing when they had their developer conference a few weeks back. They're done with tech demos as well. They said that specifically,
Oh,
and they want to focus instead on quote AAA console quality games. So that is it sounds great to me.
yeah, yeah, that's
You,
exactly what I want. Everybody else thinks, no, man, not console games. Well, that's the wave of the future, bro. And I'm impressed with my PlayStation uh 5 every day. So,
Well, let me translate for the PC only gamers out there what Sony means when they say something like console quality, and this may be a foreign concept to you guys, but when they say console quality, what they mean is no jank, it just works, and no friction. You just get into it and play, and no settings dicking around to get it to work. Everything just works out of the box, and it's blockbuster style stuff.
wait, you're saying no
Uh,
tinkering?
no tinkering,
Oh,
no
man.
no mini stutters like you when you turn with smooth turning, no like stuttering or anything like that. And go into the settings and turning it down to make it work. It just works. So,
Yeah, that's good. No having to make sure your controllers work, download a driver, or I mean, there's so many different things. Like I was saying yesterday to you and Mash, even just switching over accounts to the s- the Steam version for of our uh or any of the accounts for the show account. It's a friction, it's a step. And you put enough steps in front of somebody, and that will keeps me sometimes from going into VR. So I'm looking forward to the console experience of VR being the mainstream.
yeah, well, I don't think we're going to have very long to wait. There's been lots of speculation about when we might see PlayStation 5 VR. And I'm starting to believe, Roots, I'm starting to believe it might not be quite as long as I had originally thought.
Mm,
And it's not just a feeling. I mean, there's solid logic behind it, put forth by our friends at Without Parole. But I'm hearing other things too, which kind of line up with it, which makes it very interesting. Roots. Not that it's going to happen tomorrow, but it might not be a year.
mm, maybe March. So are you saying if I bought a PlayStation VR this morning, it was not a good idea?
No, I did not say that at all
Oh,
because, I do not believe that you're going to be able to just pick up your PlayStation 5 VR and play your old catalog with it. I think that's what the OG PSVR is for. And I think that if you buy it the day before the new one comes out, it's still a good pickup.
yeah. Well, we'll see because I can't test it. Sent away from my adapter,
Oh,
and
did you put in for it?
yeah. How long does that take? A week? 2 days?
It
3?
shouldn't take long anymore. It took a while at first when they first started sending them out. I think yeah, you should have it within 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Um,
That'll just sit over
and
there and hopefully it works. Crossing fingers. Guide had a box. Was not the way that I would have liked the whole thing to be, but I always like the
and
original packaging. That tells you that the person took care of it a little bit more.
well, yeah, yeah. That's true, and that's the reason why I never throw away any of my packaging because I know that I might resell my stuff one day, and it's getting tough now, man, because I've got like enough boxes to fill a small room, and I don't live in the biggest place, so they get kind of cumbersome from time to time.
Yeah, start throwing some shit away. That's all you got to do for sure.
But no, congratulations on picking up your PSVR again, dude. There are things that you have missed that you're going to get to experience. Now you get to play Frack now, bro.
Yeah, Fracked, Iron Man, Static. I own Static. Never tried it. My roommate played it when I sold it to him.
Dreams,
Yeah, Dreams.
dreams.
Yeah, that's true. So, but so it'll
Dude,
be an interesting experience. But now I gotta wait for a week. So,
Hitman 3.
oh yeah, I was thinking about that one, Hitman 3, or 1 or 2 as well.
Yeah, dude, I'm so happy and excited for you. I'm glad that you have that capture card now. Like now, our community is going to benefit from that card that they picked up for you, right? Because now
Yeah,
you can start streaming some PSVR for the peeps.
yeah, maybe even some Res 7. Go back, revisit Jack.
There we go. I like how you're thinking. Our friend Paradise Decay in chat says, sadly, but Bradley just tweeted that he discovered something big about PlayStation VR 2, and he's going to explain it all in a video tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And he also says, let us know when you're going to stream PSVR, buddy. We'll be sure to let everyone know. If you haven't already, PD, hit the button and the bell.
Yeah, if you haven't hit it, we're doing something wrong. We got some problems here. Last night I did stream some of that Legendary Tales, and it's funny because it was having a lot of CPU. My CPU was like really struggling, and so I was thinking it was the game because of the multiplayer. But then I went into my computer today and blew out some dust out of the thing, and it was pretty dirty, and I added an extra fan, so I think it's got a nice cool airflow in there, so we're good.
It's crazy how much heat this thing generates when you start gaming. Like it gets hot in here fast, despite my air conditioner. Like my PC blows out hot air faster than my air conditioner can get rid of it, and that's a good thing, right? You don't want it all sitting in the case. But I've got like a gigantic cooling system on my deal, so I mean it starts straight away as soon as I launch a game. You can feel the hot air blowing out of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely hot for sure.
Mash Daddy in the chat says, "Congratulations, Roots." And there's a lot of stuff you need to get into as well, Eric. But we can talk about that at a later date. We got things to talk about, friends. Today we have a banger of an episode. I'm looking forward to getting into these headlines, dude. For those of you who like it when when we, on the very rare occasion, talk about hardware, we're going to get a little bit into a little bit of that today. A lot of hardware headlines. Um, but before we get into any of that, we need to start off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. Paradise Decay says, you know who else gets hot fast?
Mash Daddy and
My mom.
and my mom. I didn't do the check, Wes. I didn't check I was on A though. Mepper says YouTube is acting funny and not showing scheduled shows before they start. Make sure you check. Sometimes it'll uncheck you, won't unsubscribe you, but the bell will be removed. I don't know why they would remove our bell. We're not talking about anything controversial here, so there's really no reason. There shouldn't be anyway. So
Ring my bell, ring my bell.
yes,
It's
ring his bell.
Disco Sunday on Virtual Strangers. Wolveraza in chat says everything I got hurts but here. LOL. Dark Angel in the house. What's up? As his Onikazi. Ion, the icon. Hello, Mepper. Drew, what's up, friend? As his Void Cat. And damn, got a crew. Eddie C, what's up? Mr. Tasselhoff in the house. Traveling Man 3775 up in there somewhere as his gaming science teacher. What's up, GST? Berber Cat, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Derail up in there. What's up, brother? Brandon C. Lee VR. Island Kara. People are down for some news today, Roots, and I say let's not keep them waiting any longer. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us today, friends. Looking forward to getting in today's news. And we said it a moment ago, lots of news and rumors of wars and rumors of wars in the business of PlayStation 5 VR. And the latest Horizon VR rumor points to Fire Sprite and PlayStation VR 2. So this is a headline, a news story about the latest rumors regarding Horizon Zero Dawn VR. Now, we've known for a long time that Horizon VR was coming. It was pretty much leaked in a tweet 2 years ago. But the speculation at the time was that it was coming from Sony London Studio, the studio that brought us Blood and Truth, PSVR Worlds, among other awesome titles. But appears that is not the case, at least at this point. All indications point to Horizon VR coming from Fire Sprite Games, the developer behind the Persistence. And it's interesting, Roots, because just because we now pretty much know that this game is coming from Fire Sprite doesn't mean that the earlier information about London Studio was incorrect, because we know that these studios often collaborate on projects like this. And we also know that Fire Sprite Studio was, it arose from the remnants of the old, now defunct Sony Liverpool studio, which was very close with Sony London. So it would stand to reason that if Fire Sprite was working on a big budget AAA PlayStation VR exclusive, that London studio would most likely be helping them with that.
Yeah.
And let me ask you first of all, have you played Horizon Zero Dawn?
I have not actually. I've thought about it a couple times back and forth, but have not played it. Is it good? Any good? As people would say.
It's probably the foremost breakout title for the last 3 or 4 years from Sony. What I mean by that is, I mean, it was a new IP, uh, and it blew up. People absolutely loved Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, here's the cool thing about that. There's always been this speculation because Horizon's getting a sequel within a few months. We're going to see Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, since we've known that there's a new Horizon VR game, the debate has been, which one will it be? Will we get the VR adaptation of the first title, Horizon Zero Dawn, or will there be VR mode for the new title, Horizon Forbidden West? Well, Roots, apparently the answer to that question is C, none of the above. This is going to be a standalone, built from the ground up for VR title that takes place within the Horizon
Mm.
universe. You do not play as the main character in the original Horizon games, but you play a known character from those games, and the lead character, Aloy, actually is a companion to you in this game. Someone who you do play with, you just don't play as.
Well, it sounds like it's close enough to where it'll be fun, but I don't know, man. I do you think it's going to be half-assed? Because if it's not, then it's going to be amazing. And I heard a lot of people freak out about it. They really wanted this adaptation of the either the new game or the old one, and not a built from the ground up one, which I would think most people would want, right?
I think people are going to be blown away. I think that when you talk about beloved IPs like this, people always have a certain set of expectations in their mind. But we've always talked about it's nice. It's always a good idea when it comes to VR to let go of those expectations, because expectations become speculations and speculations become disappointment. And what I do know about this, again, you're playing as a well known character in the game. You are going to have Aloy with you, and this is going to be a completely standalone story, which makes sense, right? You're trying to sell headsets here, and if people can play this game flat, that gives them an excuse not to buy the headset. But if they can only experience this story by throwing down the cash, getting themselves a PlayStation 5 VR, then a lot of people are going to do that. And you know what happens after people put the headset on? Now all of a sudden it's a whole new ball game, right? Their mind is blown, their world has changed, and I think that's going to be doubly the case when it comes to next generation VR.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess that's a really amazing story. Although Wolveraza really didn't get into it. And I was talking about Edge of Nowhere. You'll love. If yeah, was any confusion there. If you're gonna play any gamepad game, Wolveraza, because he's having trouble playing games right now, I figured this is a great time to play some gamepad games, right? Where you're sitting there not doing anything. Edge of Nowhere is a great place to start, and maybe you'll get past the hand presence. Have to have hand presence. You'll realize how amazing a third person game can be.
While we're on the subject of Fire Sprite games, I would love to suggest the Persistence, which is
Yes.
probably, in my opinion, the best example of using a gamepad for a first-person application. Like you have hand presence, although it's not tracked hand presence. It's a 100% gamepad driven game, but it works so well and it's so immersive. And Roots, that's another thing that we're hearing about this new Horizon game from Fire Sprite, is that it's just next level in terms of graphics and sound. Like beautiful stuff they shouldn't be able to do in VR.
Wow. Wow. How cool. Can't wait, right? Games are getting this DLSS down too. That's really helping Wes. Like last night when I was streaming, I was having horrible frames in with all the multiplayer, right? For Legendary Tales, and then I clicked on the DLSS and it all went away. Um, that just made one more good reason to have a RTX and an above card, right? So
Absolutely. Gaming science teacher in the chat says, "Yeah, but will it be some 3 hour shallow meh kind of game, or will it be a full length great adventure?" Well, what we do know is, I'm sorry, from the latest Sony developer conference. Sony held a conference within the last month with prospective VR developers for their next gen VR, and one of the things that they're focusing on this generation is they don't want any more short tech demos. They want full console quality AAA games for their next gen VR system. So hearing that leads me to believe that this isn't going to be some 3 hour shallow, tech demo, but rather a full length console quality adventure game.
And I think that's where the trepidation comes from, right? Is the fear, because that's been the past when we didn't get the adaptation of the old version of the game or the new version of the game. We got our own built from the ground up piece of shit, depending on which IP it was, Wolfenstein or whatever. Not horrible games, just not compared to, it was exactly what gaming science teacher just said. Really shallow, 3-4 hours. It was an experience, which was great for Gen 1 VR. It's not good enough anymore. We need the next level, and that's why I'm glad that Sony said that as well. We don't need tech demos. I don't want tech demos anymore. So,
Says, well, that bodes well for PSVR and VR in general. It certainly does because, video games, like many things in life, it's a kind of follow the leader scenario. If Sony comes out and they start knocking it out of park with all of these awesome console quality AAA titles, you got to believe that Facebook's going to follow the suit. And in fact, I would imagine that Facebook being who they are, they're probably going to try to beat Sony to the punch. I imagine they'll probably release their next headset before Sony, or at least they'll try to,
hmm.
and we'll start seeing some of these upcoming big titles from Facebook a little sooner rather than later as well.
Are you saying, Wes, or what I'm thinking you're saying, don't spend your Christmas money just yet. Hold on to it because it should be just after the new year. We may see things start to spice up a little bit between everybody, right? Because if it is March for PlayStation, then that means Facebook's got to go before March, and that gets weird, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. And I do expect things to pick up in a very big way early on next year, not just from Sony, but from all parties involved.
cool.
Um, Noel DBZ2 says Hellblade Sinuous Sacrifice is a good third person VR game too. I agree. It's one of my favorite games in VR. I love Hellblade. That's probably the best audio work that I've ever experienced. Um, they really captured that feeling of schizophrenia in your character with the audio work that they did, and I absolutely love that game. So yeah, that's a good call there.
Mash has a good point. October 28th will be an interesting day at Facebook Connect. Wouldn't that be crazy if the Pro dropped on the 28th?
I fully expect that, to be honest, and we're going to talk a little bit about Pro here in just a few minutes. But yeah, that is my expectation at this point.
Man, that's crazy.
Mr. Tasselhoff got to run. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Thanks for stopping by, Taz. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, Roots, Horizon not the only AAA console quality titles we're hearing about coming from Sony land over there. The newest or the next generation PlayStation VR is said to launch with a couple of titles. One, Wipeout is being rumored, a new Wipeout title, and a new Astrobot title being rumored as well. So we're going to see a lot of new big games next year, and for the in the years to come. And that kind of leads us into our next headline: Firewall developer hiring for next generation VR project. So now that we have Solaris that has come and gone, Firewall already gearing up for their next, or I'm sorry, First Contact Entertainment already gearing up for their next project, and some of the verbiage that they're using in their job postings makes this quite interesting, Roots, because they're not beating around the bush with this one at all. They're coming right out and saying this next game is going to be a triple A next gen VR game. Those are big words, aren't they?
Yeah, it's huge words, especially since they're coming from a developer that game is on Sony. You know what I mean? Again, that's where the AAA. I think all the AAA good games, at least initially, are going to be, and um, it's exciting.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because I mean, they started out with the Sony exclusive. Well, I mean, honestly, that they started out before that with a game called ROM Extraction. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Mm.
That was a Steam VR game. But after ROM Extraction, they really uh, became known for Firewall Zero Hour, which is widely regarded as an all-time great, not only PlayStation VR game, but VR game in general. Firewall is an amazing game. It's still well supported and still played by many people on a day in and day out basis. And then they went away from the Sony exclusive and tried to do a multi-plat game with Solaris. While Solaris is good in its own right, it never quite reached the success that Firewall did. So I would imagine if they're coming right out and saying that they're working on a AAA next gen game, we're probably looking at another Sony exclusive, I would think.
Yeah, I would agree. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Solaris, as good as it was, I just don't think that the only game in VR that's almost exactly like Rainbow Six Siege, and everybody loves that game and all the aspects about it. It's an amazing game.
I think Solaris is very unique in its own right. Um, I think where they kind of took a misstep there is I think they came to market a little too early because the game really was not in a finished state when it landed on Oculus Quest. And as we said the other day when we were talking about Legendary Tales, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And if you don't make the right impression out of the gate, it's often hard to try to make up ground later.
Mm.
And I kind of feel like that was the case with Solaris. It's been updated now and everything's all good. But, people had already kind of made their mind up before all the updates landed. So again, it's a good title in its own right, but it's never going to be what Firewall was and is. And lessons learned, I would imagine.
I agree. Wolveraza says he wishes Solaris were launched better. It is a good game. It just attached to the game mechanics that killed it instead of listening to the community. So, but yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely had its issues, but it is a good game. So,
Paradise Decay says I can't see us having any big PC titles for a few years until Quest 4 starts the ball rolling. So I'm betting on PSVR 2 to give us those high quality VR games. I think you're right. I think that a lot of people are going to be surprised at what we see from the latter stages of the Quest 2. Again, we have not yet seen the full capability of that device on display yet. They only just now cut loose the requirement to support Quest One. So we're going to see some better stuff out of Quest Two. Is it going to be on the level of quality of PlayStation 5 VR? Well, of course not. But we're going to get some big blockbuster games on that device as well. And again, whether you're talking about PS5 VR or Quest 2, uh, a lot of those titles are going to end up on PC as well. And PC has its own thing going on anyway. PC has all these mods. PC has it's still the easiest way for an indie dev to publish their game. So PC is going to continue to thrive. It's just in this area of big budget AAA games where you might see it fall behind a little bit.
yeah, I agree.
Headline: Gran Turismo 7 developer, quote, cannot talk about VR support yet. So this was interesting, Roots. A lot of speculation about the next Gran Turismo and whether or not it's going to support VR. Of course, the last Gran Turismo game, GT Sport, featured VR, but only in a limited way. It did not include the full game. There were just a few game modes that you could play inside of VR. So when doing an interview with the head of Polyphony, the developer behind Gran Turismo, he was asked this past week about VR support for Gran Turismo 7. Will it be limited like the last Gran Turismo, or will it be full VR support if there's going to be VR support at all. And his answer was interesting to say the least. And I'll go ahead and pull this up here so I can get the exact quote for you. Um, Yamauchi, yeah, that's his name, Yamauchi, said, "quote I don't think that there's. I'm sorry, that's an older quote. Let's see here. Well, I can't find the exact quote now. Basically, what he said was regarding PSVR, we're not at a state where we can talk about it yet. So, you know, Upload kind of downplayed that a little bit, but to me, that's confirmation right there. VR support for GT7 just confirmed. They just can't talk about it yet, right?
Yeah, they're not released to talk about it yet. Wolveraza says half-ass VR for a flat game is the hybrid idea. They're discussion on what the hybrid will be. Vorpex for Sony. I don't think it's going to be Vorpex for Sony. And as much as people say that, if Sony builds it into the game and puts you into the game and you're using your controller, it's going to be 1,000 times better than Vorpex. Vorpex is an amazing workaround for VR to put you in it. But if Sony does it, it's going to be done right. It's not going to be Vorpex style. It's going to be Sony style, and it's going to blow you away. I would think more like Hellblade, as amazing as Hellblade. Hellblade does things that other games do. When you tell me a game that you can play big, small, shrunk down, different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's definitely, I think, going to be a good thing.
Right, and I would also like to add that we're not just talking about any gamepad here. If that were true,
Hmm.
and if they were going to do these hybrid games and make them more like a flat game in VR as opposed to a VR game that you can play flat, um, we're not just talking about any gamepad here. We're talking about dual
Hmm.
sense. And if Wolveraza had ever held a dual sense in his hand, he might understand um, this this controller has the ability to immerse you unlike any other gamepad that's ever came before with the adaptive triggers, with the HD haptics. So I'm sure we will get some games that are like that, but they're going to be amazing anyway because they're going to be built around that dual sense controller.
Hmm.
Now, with that said, I don't think that that's going to be the focus on most of these games because I mean we've already seen the one thing Sony has shown us from next generation VR are these controllers. And I really don't see Roots why they would go through all this trouble to make these highly advanced VR controllers and then just use them like they're a gamepad.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And Wolveraza says he has 3 DualSense in the house. That's great. How often do you use them and what are you using them on? I was just playing Call of Duty yesterday, Warzone, and that, or not Warzone, but the actual Call of Duty maps and stuff. That game, the recoil, the shooting, the way the guns feel different is better than any Call of Duty I've ever played, and that's a flat game. Imagine for somebody that like yourself that loves shooting stuff, if they can give you controllers that actually make you feel like you're really holding a real gun. You know what I mean? Versus the best PC VR or best Quest controller game that doesn't have the same technology in there. That they're amazing Rumble, but Rumble's not DualSense. You know what I mean? Um, so
Yeah, and Mash Daddy kind of has the idea here. He says DualSense is game changing, although the orbs will be the main control, even in the hybrid games. And I agree with that because the DualSense, you don't get positional tracking dual sense. So even in the games that are controlled gamepad style, it's going to be with the orbs, and it's important to note that the orbs also have this next gen uh, HD haptics. They also have the adaptive triggers, which are awesome in these shooter style games like you're talking about, Roots. I mean, never before have we ever been able to play like a military sim, have the gun jam in game and you feel that in real life by the trigger not pulling all the way. It only pulls. You can only get a half pull out of the trigger, and then you'll feel something like the haptics abruptly stop. It's an awesome thing like that. And, not just with the gun jam, but that's just one example of the type of interactions that are possible now that weren't possible a year ago.
Exactly. And it's not just about the flat, you know, you may not care about the flat games, Wolveraza. What I'm saying is that, and that kind of goes to my point. If you're not playing them, you don't really know what the controllers can do. You know what I mean? Until you've played and used them a lot, then you're like, oh my God, this controller is amazing. Yeah, you can say, okay, I know what I felt it. I played through Astrobot, the simulator, but there's so much to that controller that, and then imagining that same controller in a VR environment, right? Where you're holding a gun and you're feeling that haptics, it will bring your immersion level up, right? So,
Space Dennison in chat said, "Is it not possible that the PSVR 2 will track a dual sense? Seems likely to me." Um, it is possible. There is a very small light bar on the face of the dual sense, and the tracking is going to be done from the headset, so that light bar will be visible. But I don't see that as a likely thing. I don't think that we're going to see what we saw last generation from Sony, where we have the headset being sold as a standalone thing. I think that every PlayStation 5 VR is going to include two DualSense controllers with it, and with that being the case, there's really no reason to ever use the DualSense controllers um, when people already have the VR controllers.
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, exciting times for PlayStation VR. I cannot wait for the coming months. I think within the next 6 months, Roots, we're going to see a lot of this stuff shake out, and we're going to have a lot clearer picture going into like the 2021 show of what the future holds for PlayStation VR.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, a lot of other next gen products coming next year, not just from Sony, but Apple as well. And we got a couple of new tidbits on the rumored Apple VR headset. Uh, Headline: Apple's rumored VR headset could feature, get this, Roots, 3,000 pixels per inch micro OLED display. Uh, the speculation is, Roots, this thing could cost up to $3,000. So that has to have some kind of magic going on in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are they spending $3,000 on? I mean, usually, I mean, where they have their stuff put together in sweatshops. So it doesn't cost that much to put together, right? So it's a lot of money.
Onakazi has a good point here. Has anyone looked at the DualSense through an IR camera? If it lights up, it may have a good chance of being tracked. That is true. Just because we don't see like colored light bar on it doesn't mean that there aren't IR lights inside of it. Like say a touch controller, you don't see any lights on the touch controller, but those are tracked perfectly. So that's a good point on Onakazi. Way to go, man! Like I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, this Apple headset, you think it's going to be used as a gaming headset primarily?
I don't know. You tell me a Apple product that's used for gaming right now. You know what I mean? I mean, most of everything they have isn't for everything except for gaming. You can use it for gaming, but most people don't. Even Jim Hall, he's got one of the best Macintoshes or Apples out there, and he doesn't use it for gaming. He uses his PC for gaming, right?
Right, right. So yeah, I don't know either. Eric has a good point in the chat. He says they are spending 2,500 of the 3,000 on the Apple name. LOL, junk. I think that's true, but I think that uh, basically, in my view, highlights what I think the value of the Apple headset is going to be to the VR platform as a whole. I think that Apple VR is going to be the product that makes VR cool and trendy. This is going to be something that makes people want VR. It's going to be that unattainable item that the masses want. This is going to be the thing that you see LeBron James on Instagram using. You know what I mean? It's going to be a luxury item. So while it might not be a big gaming powerhouse, what it's going to do is it's going to drive people to buy the more affordable headsets just so that they can get in on the VR craze. And I think Facebook specifically stands to gain a lot from having a competitor like Apple, even if it isn't going to be quite as gaming focused as the Facebook headset or the Sony headset.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna do the contrast because you're actually getting a lot for that Facebook headset for a lot less money, right? $300 versus uh maybe $3,000. That's a big difference, but maybe it'll be more media driven, right? Like it'll be for watching movies or going into these really cool concerts or experiences or whatever. Venues that you don't have available yet for the competitor. Hopefully somebody starts driving that because the technology's there, the cameras are there. We should be able to get into a concert. My question would be, nah, I'm not even going to go there. It definitely would be interesting for to see how this is going to go.
I think that's going to be the primary use for it. I think it's going to be a luxury means to access the metaverse. And I'm sure that Apple will have their own little wing of the metaverse that's behind a paywall that you have to have their headset to access their stuff. Um, but that's kind of the same model that Facebook's using as well. And I think a lot of the features that you're going to see in the Apple headset, you're going to see Facebook offer as well at a much less expensive price point.
Yeah, absolutely. Otokazi does not think it'll be 3 grand. Noel says 2 grand more, but he's thinking 1,200. So I don't know. We'll see. Apple does like to charge a lot for their products, and if they're going to have next level gen, they're going to try to outdo Facebook in any way. It's not going to be cheap. That's for damn sure.
That is for sure. And I do uh, think that we are going to see some gaming application for it, which is kind of leads us into the next headline. Apple headset uses iPhone, iPad, and MacBooks for advanced features. And advanced features roots. I mean, that means games, right?
Means a lot of things. To us, it means games. That sounds good to me, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else would they really need all that horsepower for? And when I say all that horsepower, like the latest iPhone, the latest iPad, that I mean, those things pack a little bit of punch. I mean, they're not like my little crappy $30 smartphone from Walmart here. Like a new iPhone, it's got enough horsepower to push some VR.
Yeah, well, think about what's pushing the Quest 2, right? I mean, I don't know what's in my Samsung that I've got, but it's definitely a lot more powerful than what was running the Gear VR at that point, right? So I would imagine for sure, definitely could be um, running mobile VR for sure.
Jim Hall in the chat says, arrived just in time for the Apple Talk. Well, you got in on the ass end of it where we were just about to speculate how someone like you, who already has an Apple device that they can tether their Apple headset to, are going to be able to play maybe not Half Life Alex on it, but you'll probably have a pretty solid experience in something like, say, Tetris Effect.
Yeah, yeah, I think they're really. I really think they're going to focus a lot on AR, something you could sit at your desk and use for the working person. That just makes sense because right now all of it's gimmicky and you can't really. You need almost like a pair of glasses like those new Facebook glasses, but have everything built in. I don't know, man. There's so many. Whatever Apple does, I know it'll be unique. It'll be overpriced, and everybody that buys Apple stuff is going to run out there and wait in a line for 7 days to get it because they need to have it first. And why not? So
Yeah, and again, this isn't something that I envision myself, buying. I'm just excited for what it means for VR as a whole. I think that it's going to be invaluable exposure for VR, and it's really going to, rising tides raises all boats or all ships, whatever that saying is. I think that's the case here, and I think that you're starting to see now everybody try to jump back into VR the way that they did in 2015, uh, we're finally starting to see the kind of interest and the companies recognize that.
When do you think Disney is going to figure it out, Wes? Because I am screaming at Disney at the top of my lungs. I want a virtual Disney World. I don't have to go wait in line. Just recreate all the rides. You can charge me a full price ticket. Well, not full price, maybe half price.
You
I think
know,
it'd be cool.
there's a project out there that the focus of it is to um, give you a VR versions of all of these older Disney World amusement park rides, the ones
Ooh, they're
that
gone.
are either on their way out or gone already. It's called Defunct Land or something like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, they're already working on this stuff.
That'd be cool, man. I just because I mean, if they're gonna make it difficult for us to go travel anywhere, and I don't want to go anywhere, and at some point, I just want to still be able to go check out It's a Small World and feel like I'm really in it in virtual reality. That would be cool.
Paradise the Case says, can you imagine if the Apple VR was just their version of Google Cardboard? That could harm VR. Yeah, that could, but I don't expect that to be the case. I mean, we're hearing about these super high advanced micro OLEDs and eye tracking and all this next gen stuff coming for that device. I would be shocked if it just turned out to be a sleeve that you slide your iPhone into.
Absolutely, that would be so backwards. Jim Hall says Apple is about productivity. They aren't the richest company in the world for nothing. I thought they were the richest company in the world because they have really cheap labor, but I could be wrong. I mean, that's a lot of companies now. It's not just Apple exclusive, but if you can pay people really, really almost nothing, then you can price and you're still charging a shitload for the product, man. You get a lot of money. Good deal. It's
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. I don't think it'll be a primarily a gaming device. I think that it'll be a social media slash productivity slash metaverse device, and yeah, I don't think there's any chance in hell that it turns out to be anything like Google Cardboard or even Google Daydream for that matter.
No, that would be crazy though. That would be upside down.
Now speaking of Google, a lot of us wondered what Google's future vision is for VR. As you know, they got out of Daydream uh, over the last year and a half, and we kind of thought maybe they were done with VR, but then they acquired the developer behind Job Simulator, whose name is escaping me at this moment because I'm trying to think of it. Um, Alchemy Labs. Uh, so definitely showing some interest still in VR, and now we're learning that maybe the interest is going to stretch a little bit further than um, just releasing games, as the new Google Stadia job listings suggest VR cloud gaming ambitions. So there are four new listings they're trying to fill at Google Stadia routes, and all four of them VR. Interest in working VR is a plus. Is basically the gist of what they're saying. If you're someone who wants to work in VR, that would help you for these positions. And that's interesting because of what Google Stadia is. Google Stadia is cloud based gaming. It's the idea behind Stadia is to give everyone the ability to experience gaming without having a high end PC. And to see them hiring for like VR centric positions would suggest that they're starting the groundwork for the next generation stuff, which is cloud based VR game streaming.
Yeah, wow, that sounds cool for people don't have a computer, right? Yeah, how crazy it would be if we fast forwarded 10 years in the future and components have gotten even harder to get, and all of us are on this cloud gaming thing because there is no more personal computer, and it's all subscription based thing. I mean, that's not so crazy to think of outside the box, right? That I hope that's not true because that would suck.
Well, I definitely think that cloud based everything is the future. Now, how far in the future is the question, and I think that when the tech finally gets good enough at a base consumer level for this to work well, uh, we're going to have a transition period. It's not just going to overnight change from PCs and consoles to straight cloud streaming. I think we're going to have a period of transition where you'll see the cloud based tech work in concert with a console, with the PC, with some kind of onboard CPU and a standalone device to work together to provide a seamless experience for the end user. But I absolutely do 100% think that cloud based is the future. It makes too much sense uh, for uh, for it not to be. I mean, the tech is almost there already. It's just a question of fine tuning it and then making it affordable for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolveraza has a good point. Says tech advances quickly, and it always is a double-edged sword. And that's everything. Everything's either can be used for good or bad. And my problem with cloud-based going like if that's all there was, I like this because if the internet goes down, guess what? I can still do. I can still play. Right? If the cloud, it's kind of like this big push to get off of money and get onto a digital system and because there is a push, but then the power goes down and you're at the store and it's like, well, fuck, what do we do? Oh, well, everybody cash only. Oh, cash is no longer around anymore. I guess you're just going home with nothing now. It that doesn't sound good to me. I think options are always good. So but yeah, I agree, it's a double-edged sword, and technology can be so.
Yeah, that's a good point and a great. Uh, it makes it a great thing that people still want the disk drive on their PlayStation, right? Like because the internet, it's not always up, right? And sometimes you just want to play VR, and it's nice that you're going to be able to do that on your Sony console next generation um, through physical media. And there's other advantages, obviously, with resale and all this other stuff. But the main advantage, in my opinion, is the fact that you don't need an internet connection. You can always just pop that disc in there and play your game. And that's why I was kind of happy for Scott Merrill, the Oculus Game Cat, this past week. We helped him get a PlayStation 5, and he wanted the digital, and we almost got him the digital one, but it sold out right before I hit the 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 checkout button. Sold out right before I hit it, but we were able to get him the physical
Mm.
the edition, and I think that in the long run he's going to be happier and better off for it.
It's very short-sighted. Just so like people said, hey, 64 gigs is enough, man. You know what I mean? You can't future proof something. And the biggest thing that I've seen, okay, this is the biggest thing that I of an example. I wanted to get the Kingdom Hearts all in one package, right? It was on sale. It was like 30 bucks or something at Best Buy. And so I picked it up. I looked online, digital, it was $100 through the Sony PlayStation Store. My fucking jaw dropped open. You know what I mean? So like you have, this is the price. This is the price of your game. Sony dictates the price of your game. When I get my PlayStation VR, I'm gonna run down to GameStop and buy a used copy of Iron Man VR for like 19 bucks. I can't do that without the digital or with the digital copy. So you're gonna start saving money left and right off the bat. And it's just like I said, it's a short-sighted. It sounds good. It's $100 in your pocket right now. But you go down the road a year, you're like, fuck, man, I wish I would have got the disc version. I guarantee it. There's no reason to. And it's also a Blu-ray player. I mean, there's just a lot of reasons for it to me anyway.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I told him after we finished up the transaction. I'm like, look, man, now you don't have to pay $70 for games. Now you can get GameFly, and
Yeah.
for
But
like $15 a month, you can keep out, two titles at all times. The newest latest thing that would cost you $70 to pick up from a store. Now you don't have to do that. You can rent and save yourself a whole lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a lot of reasons for it. So I'm glad I got my disc version because I was looking at the digital as well, and I think it's worth it. It's definitely, it's only $100 more, and you're now can have multiple ways to get. And like if I get tired of Returnal, but how's that going to happen? But if I did, I could sell it. Now I have an option to sell. You can't sell
Exactly.
digital, so
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Wolverine in chat said, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. Very cool of you, man. It was really cool of him because I mean that guy sent me money up front. Like I didn't just order the thing for the guy and then trust him to pay me for it after. Like that guy on a whim sent me $500 without just on the
mm,
promise that I'm going to do what I say. So good on that guy and you know uh,
how
since
funny.
he was
How
oh
funny would
sorry,
it
go
be
ahead.
if we went to start the show and I was like, I don't know where Wes is, and Wes just disappeared. Over $500 just disappeared, gone. But yeah, you're right. It's not like it's somebody in the community that you like crossing fingers. Let me just send me some money. But that's definitely that is cool of him.
Be banning him on like the next show. Ban him from the Discord. Ban him from the YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what he's talking about.
absolutely. Well, and you get the best of both worlds. Onikazi, he says he's got two PS5 games so far. Paid 40 for each. I don't think I've paid full price for any game. Like I think I paid $40 for the disc version of RE8. And like there's just a lot of good sales on the physical copies.
Yeah, he says he's already close to breaking even versus the digital version. See, that's the way it was with me. Like, I've got a stack of PSVR games like this, physical games, most of which came from Gameplay. I just ended up keeping it, buying it from them, and they're games that I want. Games that if I went to an all digital console, that I would have to end up rebuying. So it kind of paid for me just to go ahead and get the physical version anyway, um, because I was going to end up spending that money one way or the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
PD says, you know who would have took the 500 and ran?
My mom!
I made sure I hit the right one because I'd hate to accuse Mash Daddy of that. Uh, you know what I mean? You don't accuse people of taking money and running unless they're your mom.
D-Rail has a good point. He says, plus some titles have a short print cycle and they have a lot of worth reselling. That's a good point. If you have a copy of Job Simulator on PlayStation, I mean, you could sell that thing for like $200 right now because it's out of print and it's a collector's item.
Yeah, true. Well, let me ask you, Jim. Jim says he can't be bothered changing discs anymore. He's all digital here and out. Um, how often do you switch discs, man? I'm not like swapping them out like I'm a fucking DJ, bro. Like you know what I mean? Returnal usually sits in there. I've got, Hades is digital. When I go to play a couple of other games, I'll switch them out. But I don't know. I guess it depends on how often you switch around, right?
Right, right. Well, typically I'm not playing a bunch of different things at a time. I mean, I might switch games once, but I'm like you. Like I'll play the physical game first, and then if I play something else, I'll switch to a digital game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, Paradise the Case says I have one disc in my PS5, and it's Returnal. Same here. Returnal's in my PS5. It stays in it.
I'm daunted, Wes. I need to get back into it, but it's so deep and so much work that I think it's gonna have to be on a stream to force me to really dig in again. It's been a break, good break.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think we need to make a hard left here because somehow we've taken our Google Stadia talk and veered all the way back to the top of the episode and back into PlayStation. It just shows you the what kind of excitement there is around PS5 and PS5 VR.
That's true, very true.
Hard not to talk about it, right?
It is hard not to talk about it. It's exciting. We're a lot closer than we thought we were, and that means we're closer to the next gen of VR. That's crazy. months, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. But again, I do expect Facebook to head everyone off at the pass. And that leads us into our next headline: Oculus Quest Pro reference hidden in the latest software mentions face and eye tracking. So, Roots, uh, you remember it wasn't that long ago when it was revealed that the Sony headset would have eye tracking. And immediately, John Carmack takes to Twitter downplaying the impact of having eye tracking in your headset. And what did I say then? I said, you watch, at least by the time that, or at least within 6 months of the Sony headset coming out, Facebook will have a headset out, and that headset will have eye tracking. And here we are. It looks like Facebook. I mean, if it don't come out right when the PS5 VR comes out, it might even come out even sooner with face tracking and eye tracking.
That's crazy. Let me ask you this. What do you think is going to be um, featured in there besides eye tracking and facial features? Do you think there'll be a beefier hardware? I mean, or is it going to be exactly the same with just a couple of tweaks? Because that's not really a pro to me. I mean, it is, but it's not. There's got to be something else changed, right?
I think that specifically is why it's a Pro and not Quest 3. I mean, if it had a updated CPU GPU in it, then it would be Quest 3. It wouldn't be Quest Pro. So I think I don't
More
think you're going to
res,
see a lot.
maybe. I don't know. That's
Maybe. I mean, they might put an OLED in it. I mean, that I see as a possibility. It might have face tracking, eye tracking, and then like an OLED panel inside for a higher contrast and more vivid colors.
And I guess we
Um,
can't discount the IPD. You know, like if your eye tracking is now in there, it's going to automatically you do your IPD for everybody. It's going to be like having a shoe made around your foot, right? It's going to be perfect IPD. It should be anyway.
right, and there are applications that can be built around that eye tracking, which allow you to get more out of the XR2 chip that's in the Quest 2. So they will probably see a small performance boost just because they have that eye tracking in there.
That's true. You won't even need a better processor because of the eye tracking. Wolveraza talk about double-edged sword. The eye tracking, facial tracking is super super suspect. And talking to me, I completely agree. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's just what can they do with it? Um, you know, and we have no idea. I mean, it's I'm not naive enough to think that it's just all roses and candy, right? But I mean, everything is used against us these days. So what are you gonna do? Just throw 'em up my
All right.
hands?
Gaming science teacher asked if it does have eye tracking, is it going to be using dynamic foveated rendering? I would think so. Maybe not at launch, but that's certainly something I would expect to see. They've been working on that tech for years at this point, and I think the XR2 chip is powerful enough to run applications like that. So I would expect it, yeah, within a year that we would see some use of dynamic foveated rendering uh, in the uh, in the Quest Pro applications.
Yeah, yeah, and
But we need to.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say we need to recognize though what it means. Pro Quest Pro. It means professional, which it
Hmm.
would indicate that the use case for it is going to be more productivity as opposed to gaming.
Yeah, true, true. Gaming science teacher says pro feature maybe a hot swappable battery, which is a good point. And Noel has a good point. Digital is funny. Oculus removed Marvel Powers VR without telling anybody, and then made a big, to do to try to get a refund. And that's pretty much that is a problem with digital as well. It's like if they just decide to remove it from your library, you have no recourse. Now, of course, if they remove say a server, you're not going to be able to go play that game anyway. But maybe if for whatever reason they remove your that game, it's gone digital. There's not even you don't even have the box to look at least I can look at Returnal and remember my times when I played it, which would be horrible if it just disappeared, right?
Right. Absolutely. Onakazi says the Quest 2 XR2 is underclocked. They could get a boost by having it run at full speed. That's a good point. The Quest 2 Pro could have advanced cooling built into it, which allows you to really get the most out of your XR2.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Very true.
Spaced Innocent said, "Is that what the PS4 Pro is?" No, with the PS4 Pro, that's just a gimmick, a naming gimmick. I don't think that would be the case with something like a VR headset. I think if they say Pro, they're going to come out and they're going to say this is intended for productivity. It's intended for professionals.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, Headline: Oculus Quest V33 update begins rollout, adding AirLink improvements. It's not just AirLink improvements either, by the way. It's also wired link improvements.
Mm.
The improvements specifically visual. Apparently, they're using a new kind of a visual tool that allows for a more sharp picture in the headset.
Oh wow! So I need to start checking and start being frustrated and not getting who. Why haven't I gotten number 33? Damn it! I guess you can force it now, right? There's a way to actually force your update. There used to be, I thought.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I don't think that V33 has rolled out to
Oh,
everyone yet. Um, it might still be in. Well, actually, you might be able to force the update now, like super recently. But up until like the last week, it was in beta.
hmm.
So it depends on if you have the beta thing enabled or not. But yeah, I'm sure that there's a way to do it if you want to go through the trouble. It's not like a big groundbreak like game breaking thing or anything. It's just supposed to be a marginal increase visually
Yeah.
using Link.
Okay. Well, anything that makes it run better or look better is good in my book, right?
Well, here we have Dark Angel in the chat saying my home environment definitely looks crisper with V33.
Damn it, Dark Angel. Why are you telling me this? Now you're telling me you have it already. Roots needs it. Why doesn't Roots have it? I don't even know. Maybe I've got it already for all I know. I don't remember. I don't leave my headset on, so I definitely wouldn't probably have it on the Quest version. But maybe now do we have to, is there a 33 version for the Oculus as well? Or the PC end of it? Or do you know?
What's Oculus PC?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, that's what's weird is like you could have the right thing, but you don't have the right software on your PC or vice versa, and they conflict, right? And then you really don't have 33 or any of the features anyway.
You
Yeah.
get any of those weird feelings about the number 33 roots? Like, do you want version 33? Do you get
Maybe I
do you
skip
see
it.
like do you see like the pyramid and the eyeball when you start thinking about it
Maybe
like
I
I
should
do?
maybe I should skip it. Maybe if I put 33 on, the eye tracking is going to suck me in and oh, we don't have the eye tracking yet. We're good.
Is it a coincidence, Roots, that it's version 33 the first time we ever hear any code for eye tracking?
I think it is. I think it's coincidence, or it's an elaborate ruse. It's all designed to throw us off track. And
Right. Anyway, we're about to move out of our little hardware talk segment here. I just wanted to throw all this stuff. This is all stuff that came out within the last week from Sony, from Apple, from Google, from Facebook. Things are ramping up in a big way. And, for all of you out there who argued that Oculus Rift S, Oculus Quest, that this wasn't a true Gen 2 for VR, well, you're about to get your Gen 2 for VR in 2023. I'm sorry, 2022. It's not going to be later 2022. It's going to start pretty much right off the top. And it's exciting. We've been waiting on this for pretty much the whole time we've been waiting on this. And if Quest Pro is this year, Roots, you know what that means? That means next year, more than likely, we're going to start to see or get our first look at the Facebook device, which uses varifocal, which is going to be a revolution unto itself.
Yeah, that's the next step, right? So,
It is.
man, how close you think? Mid next year, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I guess if the Pro comes out in October, man, that's what's crazy. We're already mid September. You know, what did Mash say it was October 28th? We're talking about 6 weeks. The Pro could be on the scene. Do you have your money set
Nope,
aside for the Pro?
I'm not going to get one unless
What?
unless they like really surprise me. The features that I'm not expecting. I've already got two Quest 2s. I'm just going to wait on my PlayStation,
Hmm.
which I fully expect that I'm. Well, not fully expect. I think that I could be pre-ordering in December. So
What if they gave you 512K? That's a big difference, right? It's like I don't give a shit about the space. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it would take for me to really get it because that's on my mind as well. I was like, I got, a couple more months later, I'm going to be buying the PlayStation VR 2, or PlayStation 5 VR rather. So,
if they price it modestly, say it's $500, and it has a higher resolution OLED panel, maybe even with a little bit more field of view, and then they say that the eye tracking is going to be used to some extent for performance, that would be something I would have to consider.
yeah,
Would even consider selling one of my Quest 2s that I have just so I can upgrade to that.
well, that's exactly
Uh,
what you do. Why not, right?
well, why not? Is because I wouldn't mind having three.
Yeah,
That's why not. But I don't expect that's going to be the case. I think that it's going to be a Quest 2 with a couple of new bells and whistles that aren't really going to have a big impact for gaming. And I don't think that I'll end up buying one day one.
what about a wider field of view? Noel says if they give us a big wider field of view, uh, Noel's in. I think I would
Sure,
have to be in as
sure.
well.
Yeah, yeah. If they give us 20, 30, 40 more degrees in the field of view, then I mean, that's really kind of the top of my wish list as far as things that's doable right now
Mm,
in this gen of VR. Like I kind of feel like these like Quest 2 should have had a wider field of view to begin with, but I get why it didn't. The thing that makes Quest and Quest 2 so revolutionary is how accessible they are. And they wanted to not only come out with a sequel that blows away the first Quest in every department, but they also wanted to come out with a sequel that cost less than the first Quest, which was already ridiculously priced at $400. Um, so yeah, a little bit more field of view, and now I'm listening. Now I'm thinking about it. Right?
yeah, absolutely. And gaming science teacher says too. I didn't even think about this. Ergonomics, right? Smaller, lighter, maybe. Maybe it's got a better battery, newer technology that lasts longer. I mean, there could be some things in there that's like, okay, the weight's the same or it's a little bit lighter, but the battery is triple the time. Now it lasts 6 hours. That's almost a no brainer for me. Because right now that's one of the biggest gripes for people is the battery doesn't last long. And if we're going with wider field of view and we're having all these other things, then maybe you have to kick it down to 80 instead of 90. I don't know. There's going to be concessions, right? Things you have to adjust and look at. So,
Yeah, I feel like I don't know about the battery. I do feel like that there will be improvements in the design and obviously the build quality. I mean, if this is a pro and it's a professional product that's meant for professionals, I would expect it to be made out of premium materials, be more comfortable out of the box, and so on and so forth, and probably would have a little more battery to it. Although bigger batteries means more weight.
mm,
Um, so I wouldn't expect it to be a game changer in those terms.
yeah. So who knows? A lot of speculation, but good news is we may not have to wait that long. The last 6 weeks, we could have this thing in our hands or at least in some of our hands. So,
That's true. That's true. So exciting times again. I think we're sitting at the precipice to that true generational jump that the hardcores have been asking for all these years. So I look forward to watching it all unfold.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to Anthony's video about when this all unfolds. Will it be enough? You know?
No, no chance in hell.
He needs to
Facebook,
go in the
what are you
future.
doing?
50 years, I think he'd be happy with the technology, because that's what we all want, right? We want the holodeck from the Star Trek. I don't care about the Ready Player One. I want the holodeck that I can go in a room and it just turns into whatever. That was pretty cool.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's get off hardware here. Let's talk a little software. Headline: Felix and Paul Studios win Emmy for Space Explorers, the ISS experience. We've talked a little bit about this Space Explorers before. Episodic VR experience detailing um, space and astronauts. I mean, they're working closely with NASA to bring groundbreaking um, video to VR, and almost even to the point of now having a custom camera rig on the International Space Station,
Hmm.
uh, you know, capturing space in full 360 3D. Um, and it's not gone unnoticed. They win an Emmy this past week for their work on this series.
Well, who doesn't want to go to space? Well, flat earthers don't want to go to space because it doesn't exist. But I'll tell you what, one of the things I've always been fascinated was space. And I need to go into this thing. Is this the same one they did years ago, but it's redone, or is this a completely new one?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
They did that ISS thing, or somebody did an ISS years ago. Is this the same one, or is this a completely new one?
Well, this isn't years old. No, no. This is a fairly recent experience.
Okay, well, I need to get in there because I want to go to space because I love it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can watch like preview, like they'll show you like the first couple of minutes, I think, of a couple of them. It's pretty cool. I went in there and checked it out. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I definitely the Felix and Paul is amazing. They also did the uh the circus things, right? That was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that one. I can't remember what the name of it is. I thought now that I want to think about it, it's Cirque du Soleil or whatever, right? They
Right,
did.
right. Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah,
They've
it
done
was
a
really
lot of
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, that was really cool.
The gaming science teacher says, I still love Jurassic World Blue from Felix and Paul. Use it as a demo at school all the time.
Okay.
There you
Oh, cool. PD says this is new. They sent a VR camera up with SpaceX launch. Oh, cool. Well, I'm gonna have to check it out because that means the technology is new, and Elon Musk, maybe he's in there. He comes in waves or something. That'd be cool, right? What's up? He's in a Tesla driving around. So.
yeah, flying around.
Oh man, that'd be cool if they could fly.
Headline: Baobab Studios nabs its 9th Emmy Award thanks to Baba Yaga. So we covered Baba Yaga on our program when it was released, and it was super cool, man. It was nice to have like a hybrid experience. It wasn't quite a game, but it was a bit interactive, and the cool part about it was your decisions affect the course of the storyline. What happens is all based around what you choose. Um, Super cool experience, and very happy for Baobab Studios as they nab their 9th Emmy Award.
Yeah, well, it's good for us too, right? Because it's recognized and it was amazing. And it just shows we're going to get more and more stuff like this, right? We want to go into that full-fledged 90-minute movie experience where we're in the movie watching it, right? That's going to be the next level uh, of entertainment. I think that would be the only thing that would make me want to watch a movie anymore, would be that something different that's going to put me right in the middle of it. Because watching it in front of a screen anymore is totally not my deal. So.
Which I do think this is in the cards for us now, and it's not that far away. We've always been limited before by the quality of the cameras, by the quality of the screens in our headset. It's never been quite good enough to for VR cinema to be a real thing. But that's all changing now, and I think that we're going to see it change really soon.
Yeah.
So, and I think that you're right. Stuff like this is just an indicator that it is being recognized. And again, happy for Bale Bob, happy for Felix and Paul, happy that these VR studios are getting the recognition that they deserve for being pioneers in this field.
Yeah. Absolutely. Somebody has to go first, right? And and then we're getting to a time where that, people don't want to go to the movies anymore. Everybody's being watching them in their house, and this is a perfect time for even the actors. They can do their acting from home, and like, I mean, nobody has to go anywhere. It's all voice acting, right? Except for, I guess, the people putting it together in the animations. So
Yeah, yeah. What a huge missed opportunity for big screen, man. Like this is the time that big screen should be coming out with day and date releases from the real theater, and that would make their application blow up big time. But they haven't been able to land that deal yet, man. That deal that does what HBO Max does on the flat screen and allows you to watch day and date theater releases as they hit the market.
the biggest problem that they have in that, as far as the 3D movies or whatever, is you need to be able to order it from within the headset, within the program. I don't not online. That's a little weird. Not everybody likes to go online. It's probably enough for them to be in the damn headset. They don't use any technology, and now they want to. Oh, now you want me to go log online and buy a ticket? I'm done. I'm out. Um, you know. So
So I'm sure that all that stuff is going to be streamlined over time. I would imagine.
yeah, absolutely. And Onikazi makes a good point. To get that real movie theater experience, all you have to do is really just spill a soda on the floor and let it get all sticky. Maybe get some popcorn, throw it around a little bit, and then you're all at home, right? So.
Yeah. Then you can invite people in to talk over the movie so that you can get all pissed off but not say anything because you don't want to be rude.
You nudge your wife, oh, those fuckers, man, they need to shut up.
Fair that's the case, is my dream is for James Cameron to surprise us and say Avatar 2, if we have a VR headset, we can be in the movie. He already said that Avatar 2 will kickstart 3D again. Hmm,
Yeah,
I
that'd
had
be
not
cool.
heard that.
Yeah.
Um, Headline: Microsoft Flight Simulator is finally getting VR controller support coming mid November. So, Roots, we talked last week about Microsoft Flight Simulator and a big update that they just had, one of many big updates, which continues to not only grow the map, but improve performance inside of and outside of VR. And I kind of speculated that the time may getting near for me finally to try this thing out. That it might finally be to a polished enough point where I could get into it without much friction and enjoy it. But it seems like I might should wait just a little bit longer, huh? So I can have the full VR controller support experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it would be cool. I don't know if it's how much different it's gonna be, but I mean, obviously having hand presence in there will be cool. Um, but I definitely think it's time to go in there. Either way, I need to get in there and check it out.
Yeah, me too. And again, I guess it probably wouldn't make that big of a difference because it's not about flying the planes for me. It's about riding in the planes. Like, put me in autopilot, bro, and just take me for a ride.
You're gonna go to Japan? That'd be hard to explain to your
Maybe.
wife. Like, I gotta go on a quick flight, real quick, to Japan for 7 hours or 12 hours or whatever. You could do a live stream. I don't know what you would talk to your stream about because you're not flying the plane. But it's definitely unique. It's a definitely a unique experience, I think.
Well, I'm sure we'll be checking it out. Next time there's a lull in the VR release uh, calendar, which God knows when that'll be, probably January. But whenever that happens, we'll make sure to get in and check out some flight sim.
Yeah, for sure.
Headline: Wraith: The Oblivion Afterlife tiptoes on the PSVR in October. So, Roots, Quest and PC both treated to the release of this months ago, with a delay coming for the PSVR version. And if you're going to delay a game like Wraith: The Oblivion Afterlife, you could pick no better time to release it than October. I think this is a great move on their part. I think they're going to sell a ton of copies of this game on PlayStation VR, and I'm excited to see how well received it is because this is a solid game. Uh, among the upper echelon in VR horror.
Crazy, right? Seances and shit. Some weird stuff going on in that mansion, for sure.
Huge mansion to explore, highly story driven experience, and downright scary from time to time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so happy to see this one coming to PlayStation, and can't wait to see what that community thinks about it.
I think you're gonna love it. So we'll
I
see.
think so too. As long as they stick with it, it takes it a little while to take off, but once you get to that halfway point of the game, the second half of the game is outstanding.
And Noel says, "See, we share with Sony, but they don't share with us. What the hell, bro? That's bull crap." Actually, we've been getting a lot of games coming over to the PC game world, and I think that's going to increase as they shed the old system for the new. Why not make more money on the PC crowd, right?
Right, right. And I wouldn't quite look at Wraith as an example of a PC sharing with Sony. It just that it was they were developed concurrently. The PC or the PlayStation version was just delayed. The launch was delayed a little bit. It's not a port. Is my point.
Yeah, Ian, the icon has a good point. Great game. He loved it. Just close the doors behind you. Yeah, don't be lazy. You're
So,
going to regret it if you leave them open.
Onakazi says we got persistence. That's true. You got persistence. You got Falcon Age. You got Tetris Effect. I mean, there's a ton of. I mean, Table of Tales just released this past week.
RE7
There,
in the future.
Alvo.
Yeah, Alvo.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's tons. There's tons of games that were formerly Res Infinite, formerly PlayStation VR exclusive that are now playable on PC as well. Polybius is a great one.
I think the line is blurring like no other time. And we've seen that with like crossplay with between consoles and stuff that never existed before. So we're starting to see a little merger in some of these things, and I think it makes sense from a business standpoint to get as many people playing your games over time, right? If you feel like you've juiced it enough, you're not getting any more money. Why not, throw it to the PC people, let them,
Right.
enjoy it too.
Yeah, you put these Sony IPs, like last gen Sony exclusives onto PC. What it does is it creates an appetite for people to play the sequels on PS5, right? So, like these people that are getting Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, on PC right now, when Horizon Forbidden West comes out in a couple months, these people are going to be they're going to want to play it, and the only way they're going to be able to is by picking up a PlayStation 5. So it makes a lot of business sense.
They're gonna want to play with no load screens. That's the only way to play that way is on PlayStation 5 as well. And Gaming Science Teacher has a good point. Moss was also one of those ones. How cool would it be if Moss 2 was PSVR exclusive for a while? That would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. Um, yeah, that's a great point, Gaming Science Teacher. And while we're talking about Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife, Fast Travel Game's first title, Apex Construct, was a PlayStation VR exclusive
Oh,
that came to PC.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
So it's happened a lot more than we thought, right? Now that we actually stop and think about it.
Yeah, PC needs to share some exclusives with Sony. Sony shares with them.
Yeah, that's true. What the hell, PC? What are you doing? Imagine Farpoint, Here They Lie, or Rush of Blood on PC, though. I would
That'd
love
be
to
great.
play any one of those on PC. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my next gen remasters of those. Like I'm hoping that Sony already said they're going to do some of those remasters of Gen 1 titles. I hope hopefully all of those are included.
Rush of Blood 2 is what I want. That would be
Absolutely.
awesome.
100%. Anyway, last headline, Gunman Contracts mod turns Half-Life Alex into a mobster shooter. So we talked a little bit about yesterday. Uh, Half-Life Alex, the game that keeps on giving, as we have all these mods and community created content constantly being released for it. This is just the latest example of that. Gunman contracts uh, a mobster series that I guess has as most Alex mods. I mean, it's a work in progress. It's coming out episodically, but it looks great, man.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a amazing what they're doing with Source 2, right? Already. And it's just a reason why you should own this game. It's on sale right now. And it's what, $35? If you don't own it already, pick it up, because this is not only the game, base game is amazing, but we're now up to at least a dozen of really amazing ones, and then dozens more, right? Of other stuff that I have no idea what's out there. So
Hundreds. There's hundreds at this point. User created campaigns or levels uh, that's in the Alex Steam VR workshop. So it really is a steal. It's a steal at $60, honestly. To be able to get it on sale right now for 35 is kind of nuts.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Gunman Contracts, check it out. Free as always for anyone who owns the base game. So there's a new one. There's a new one for you to get started on. Um, I tend to like the wait routes. I like to wait until they have a few episodes out before I start playing through these things.
Well, it's like watching a TV series, right? It's always nice when, if you're like 3 or 4 seasons behind and you can binge watch for a season or two, you really get into it. When you're waiting a full, or in this case, maybe 6 months, 3 months, whatever. Yeah, I think waiting is probably a good thing.
Wolveraza in the chat says Half-Life Alex is such a good game, but mods make it insanely needed VR game if you own a PC VR capable PC. Agree 100%.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Anyway, that's going to wrap up headlines, but we're going to kind of stick to the subject matter a little bit as we get into the main gaming portion of the news this week. A VR mod for Valve's legendary first person shooter Half Life 2 is apparently back from the dead, years after losing compatibility with modern headsets. Originally released in 2013 on the original Oculus Rift DK1, the Half Life 2 VR mod allowed early adopters to play through the entirety of Half Life 2's single player campaign in VR with support for the Razer Hydra motion controllers. Unfortunately, the mod eventually lost compatibility with the newer hardware as the first consumer VR headsets began to hit the market. In 2017, the original creators announced plans to bring the mod to modern headsets with additional locomotion mechanics, an optimized user interface, and other CVR back in 2017. This was kind of the holy grail. And now this was before there was any kind of indication that Valve was ever going to release any kind of Half-Life game in VR. People were super excited at the prospect that this Half-Life 2 VR mod was going to be re-released. This was a mod that was out during the developmental days before consumer VR was even a thing, uh, to the point where people were using those Razer Hydra controllers to play it. It was before Oculus Touch. People were having to use these Razer Hydras to play the thing. But it was supposedly amazing back then, and people were super excited to get the updated version, to the point where again Steam even like was going to let these guys publish it on the Steam marketplace, but it never came to be. This thing just kind of got relegated to development hell, and when Half-Life Alex came out, everybody just kind of forgot about it anyway. Well, here we are, a year after Half-Life Alex, and people are hungry for more Half-Life VR roots. And who else? None other than the amazing Doctor Beef to the rescue. This is super cool, right?
Yeah, it's super cool. And person says if you don't want to wait, you can get play it right now on what is it?
Gary's
Yeah,
mod.
on the Gary's mod. But Drew's got a good point in saying that doesn't want to have to mess with anything. And I would imagine this is going to be a better version because it's Valve's own code restored, right? So that I mean, if you've played any of the other mods, I would imagine this is going to be a better version than even the way that you're able to play it right now on the Gary's mod.
Well, just look at Doom 3 on Quest. Like that, it's amazing the work that they've done on that, and they've updated it even more, even since I've last played it. Like when the PlayStation VR version of Doom 3 came out, the Quest version was superior in most ways, but there was a couple of things that the PSVR had on it. Well, it didn't take Dr. Beef long to realize this, and he went straight away to update the Quest version. And now, I mean, it's pretty much better in every way on Oculus Quest. And when you consider the hardware that they're working with here, I mean, this literally classifies Dr. Beef as a legit VR magician. So I'm super happy that he's the one behind this. And I have the highest expectations for this mod now just because Dr. Beef is involved.
So now you're going to be happy you didn't play through it, right? Now you'll be able to actually play through it in VR.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, how perfect is it? I mean, Alex is kind of like a prequel anyway to Half-Life 2, isn't it?
I think so. I thought that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be perfect.
So yeah, super cool that this is finally apparently going to happen. Um, glad. I mean, this is just one more example of these classic flat games that I didn't catch, when that I never played flat. That I'm going to get to experience for the first time in VR, and this is everybody's favorite game. We talk about Half-Life Alex being everybody's favorite game. Half-Life 2 is everybody's favorite game.
Yep.
And I get to experience it for the first time in VR, and I think that is pretty awesome.
Yep. Now, how long we have to wait? That's the question, but shouldn't be that long.
Travel Man 3775 says, "What's that new VR game that Dr. Beef was porting into VR? It was a modern Doom style game. I don't remember what the name of it is, but I do remember what you're talking about. Absolutely, it looks cool. Anyway, what time is it, Roots?
It's quote time.
It is quote time. This is a quote from Wormslayer, which was the original creator of the Half-Life 2 VR mod. Quote, "A couple of weeks ago, Dr. Beef and Kabbalistic stepped up to see how we could revitalize the project and get it out the door. The goal has been to make sense of the existing work the previous team had done and to polish it enough to get some open source version released as soon as possible, at least in an alpha state, so that others could contribute to polish it up. In just the last couple of weeks, Dr. Beef has rewritten almost all of the VR code to run a whole lot better and even ported the game's even ported the engine's VR implementation to use Vulkan instead of DirectX 9 with the help of DXVK. Current VR APIs only work with DX11 and above. He's also fixed a lot of the game breaking issues that were in the original build. Kabbalistic has also done some magic and has gotten MSAA working on the textures as well." So again, Dr. Beef hits this thing running, man, and within a week, he's already rewritten the entire VR code and ported it into Vulkan out of DX9. They've got anti-aliasing working on it, and again, this is in a couple of weeks' time.
It's just crazy. Why aren't all games not in VR? They're really starting to become no excuse outside of somebody taking the time, right? So
The reason why is because most people don't go into these people like Luke Ross and Dr. Beef. People don't go into their Patreons like they should and donate to these people. If it was more profitable, then we would have every game being modded into VR.
I'm not giving money for a fucking mod. No, that's what people say. Like, why would I give somebody the money to play Red Dead Redemption 2 in VR? This is bullshit. Like, this dude quit his job and went full time bringing VR games into VR. or flat games into VR, right? Like he has to live. Let's make it give him incentive, make it profitable, so he wants to do it. So
Right. And if it becomes profitable for him, then it's just going to attract more people into doing it. Right. There are more people out there who are capable. The reason why we revere people like Dr. Beef and Luke Ross is because they're doing it when it's not that profitable. They're doing it for the love of the game. And that's why these people are held in such high regard.
yeah, well, and think what they can do with this one too. They've got Steam's blessing, right? Like so that means they can do a lot more than just doing. They could probably get and probably have gotten code from Steam, right, to make it work better. So that's cool.
Right. Yeah. Um, you're probably right. And the question now with it, we don't have a word on the official release date. Uh, but they're at the point they're at right now is they're trying to decide which engine to proceed in because they could keep up with their original engine, which would allow it to become open source and everyone else to work on it. But there's a lot of upside to moving it into the CS:GO engine. Namely, it will allow them some much needed experience to bring other games into VR through that engine. So they're kind of debating right now whether or not they should stick with what they're using and allow it to be open source so people can help, or to switch over to that other engine and lay the groundwork for future games. So that's where they're at right now. I don't expect them to be there very long. The way Dr. Beef works, he works fast. We don't have a word on a release date for this yet, but I would imagine within 6 months we'll probably see something from them.
I agree. People, Paradise Decay says people like Dr. Beef open the eyes of the original devs. That's exactly true. You see your creation put into VR. You look at your guys around you and like, why didn't we do this? And then it plants that seed, right, for the future game. So
Not only that, but these people who create these games, they get to go in years later now, put a headset on, and experience their game from the inside. And I can only imagine what kind of impact that has on someone to really experience their creation, which they thought they knew inside and out, from a whole new perspective and in greater detail than they've ever experienced it before.
yeah,
I got to imagine, these game developers, these people are artists at heart. So I got to imagine, experiencing your art from the inside has to be profound for a lot of these guys.
yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Kazi says the amount of people who immediately turn up their nose and declare the mod sucks because it doesn't have full motion controls is depressingly high. I agree with that. I don't think that it's a necessity by any means. It's a nice luxury to have, and Doctor Beef, notably, good at adding motion controls into these games. But it isn't a necessity in my personal experience.
Hmm.
Just being in these classic games, period, is rewarding enough.
Wolveraza completely going against it says it's important for the forward motion of VR in general to work mostly on hand motion control, as it is the best way to experience VR. Getting more people in VR, we need the draw without the confusion. Well, there's a point to be made there. I just think that there's going to be a stepping stone where um, you're going to need to do both, and I think we're going to see a lot of third person games with you know regular controls in the interim. I'll tell you what, man, just getting in that Godfather or the Mafia game and being in that world and looking around and driving around the town and stuff or GTA 5 or any of these games I've played lately has been amazing. I can't imagine saying I need full hand motion control. I'm not going to go in there. So
Right. And to the point about bringing people into VR, that's not something that newbies are focused on. That's something that VR veterans are focused on, is motion controls. That's not a selling point one way or the other for people coming into VR. These people just want to see their favorite IPs in the headset. And if that means modding it in, Without the hand presence, then so be it.
And it gets us in there today instead of
Right,
3 years from now, right?
right, exactly. Which a lot of people trying to use this as an excuse to crap on the idea of GTA 5 PSVR, which is pretty much a likelihood at this point that that's going to be something that we see launch with the headset. Um, I don't think that it's going to be a failure if it is gamepad style controls with it. Now, with that said, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. Honestly, I could see them putting hand tracking in it, but it's not a necessity. I think that the fact that you're going to have GTA 5 officially in VR is going to be huge. Not only because you're not going to have any kind of setup or jank like you have with the PC modding, but you're going to have access to the entire feature set, I would imagine, including GTA Online, which that's a game changer for VR. If we can play GTA Online in VR, I mean, that's kind of the what I've always called the singularity, right? That's the ultimate headset seller.
Yeah, absolutely. And GTA Online, GTA 5 Online, I'd rather play that over the story. I played through the story before. There's so much to do in that online world, and there's just crazy amounts of people in there running around killing each other. It's chaos. You get in there with a group of your friends, it's an amazing fun time, even flat. So I agree that I think the online multiplayer is going to make a huge difference. And you're not going to want to play it on PC because you're not going to have that option, at least not through the mod. And it's not going to have any jank. It's going to be 100% supported by Rockstar, right? So,
Wolveraza says, I disagree. Getting peeps into VR, they need to experience it correctly, or they think that VR is not ready yet, again and again and again. Or, Wolveraza, or people get into VR and the learning curve is just too much for them and it overwhelms them. Whereas having a middle ground for them to get their feet wet with a control scheme that they're already familiar with, they might feel a bit more comfortable about playing in VR. There's different ways to look at it. All of them have some validity, and I think the point is here is that there's no catch-all here. I mean, it varies on a game-to-game basis. What kind of control scheme works the best? Uh, I think when we start getting into absolutes, is when we start to exercise some flawed thinking. Um, each game is its own experience, and what's best for that game really depends on that, how it's put together and how it plays in VR.
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, moving on out of the world of mods and into built from the ground up VR gaming. This past week, MirageSoft announced that the next major update for real VR fishing is set to arrive in October, improving the mechanics while adding new features. The Year 2 update aims to make the whole experience a lot more realistic. One of the more notable changes will see each fishing location provide various water depths with different fish residing at each level. This specific feature has been designed around real world data. So each species will actually be more, or I'm sorry, will be more actually represented. The update will also bring with it more realistic fishing mechanics, including float fishing with live bait and the ability to reel and twitch lures to attract fish. Other enhancements include a reworked store to be more user friendly, better tutorials, and improved audio to ensure a more immersive experience. The Year 2 update will be free and it launches October the 20th. Roots, we've been talking about this update for a long time. This is the update that's going to take this game from the realm of hybrid fishing game into the realm of being a fishing sim, a legitimate VR fishing sim on Oculus Quest. And this game's already beautiful and amazing as it is. Uh, but really, where it lacks is in the gameplay. And I'm super happy to see that we're going to be able to take a more realistic approach with the fishing in this fishing game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a fishing sim, right? I guess it's a game. I don't know. There's that other one that there's only two fishing games I know of that exist right on the Quest. One's super cartoony, and then the other one is more of a sim, right? I own this game, still have yet to go into it. Maybe this is the time to play it, right? Everybody raves about how good it is.
Well, it's funny when I went into this, I was trying to play it like a sim. So, like when it's talking about how they're adding in the ability to reel and twitch lures to attract fish, that's what I was trying to do already. It just didn't work the way that it's supposed to work. Now it's going to, and I think that that's awesome. You know, as it stands now, it really the whole game is just about locating the fish. It's not about what you do after you throw the line out. It's about what you do before that, and then really the whole as far as the actual fishing mechanic, the whole thing is timing based. Like you decide when to hook the fish, and really that's the whole thing. There's a bit of struggle with reeling it in, but as far as that period between when you cast and when the fish bites, they're filling in that gap now with realistic mechanics. Not only that, but they're expanding it because now you can use bobbers and float fish with live bait, which again is just, I mean, that's how most of the fishing I've done in my life was done. So, um, super cool that they're doing this. And then, I mean, they're even getting to the point, Roots, of having different species of fish reside at the different depths of the water. I mean, that's pretty damn detailed for a fishing game on
Yeah.
Oculus Quest.
Yeah, that's really detailed. I would imagine if you're like really love fishing, this is like the game to play. I haven't been too much into fishing, but I do enjoy it. One of the things that was cool about fishing is, hanging out with whoever you're hanging out with and drinking a beer or whatever. So that's what you need. You need multiplayer, which it has. You need someone to get in there with them and just chill, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the cool thing about this is the multiplayer. This is a game that you can play with your dad or you can play with your best bro. I mean, like you know, co-op makes everything better. But when it comes to like a fishing game, it's almost a necessity, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's very again. Well, I was gonna say nobody goes fishing solo, but there's like a million people out there saying, "Whoa, what? Wait, that's the only way I fish. I never go with anybody." I wouldn't go fishing solo typically. I'm gonna go with somebody else, but everybody's different. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I don't know if I've ever went fishing by myself. I always have friends and family with me when I go fishing.
yeah, me too.
Traveling Man 3775. This is the one game I can put new people in and they are mind blown every time. Yeah, it's like photo real already. Like it's already photo real. It's beautiful. And now they're adding like the audio to match the visual quality and the realistic fishing mechanics. I mean, this is about to become a legit VR game, and I can't wait to get into it. We need to do this, Roots. Like immediately after this update drops, we need to get in here and
Dude,
play some real VR
yeah,
fishing.
we talked about it a long time ago. We definitely need to. I'm lamenting a little bit though because we didn't get a chance to. This would have been a perfect candidate for that smell-o-vision thing. You know what I mean? Who doesn't want to smell fish, or rotten fish or whatever your fish, when you're fishing, right?
I would just like the smell of the lake.
Oh,
You know, when you
that's
when you
true.
go fishing, the air has a certain quality to it that you know where you're at. If you were blindfolded, you would know you're at the lake. Um, so that would have been kind of cool
It's true.
if that product had ever actually came to fruition.
Yeah, they'll come up with something, right? Like
Oh
some
yeah,
kind of nodes they put on your head that trigger something in your brain that
it doesn't
makes you
even have
think you
to be
smell.
like. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about a smell, uh, device for use with VR. It doesn't have to be attached to the headset. That was the big drawback with the thing that they were trying to sell is that it was this mask that came down over your face. I mean, they could have a module that sits in the room with you that puts the scent out with a fan. and make it so you can smell these things.
That's true. It doesn't have to be right up in your face. That was the problem. Nobody wants the chemical right there, right?
Right. Traveling Man 3775. People just stare at the rod, speechless, turning it over and slack jawed the whole time. You know who else just stares at the rod, speechless, turning it over, slack jawed the whole time?
My mom!
Oh yeah, she does. I was thinking that too.
That's one of her signature moves, Roots, the slack jaw.
The slack jaw. Oh, I hope so.
Anyway, real VR fishing, it's about to level up in a big way. If you guys don't own this title, pick it up. It goes on sale from time to time, but even at full price, I mean, this is already a great title. It's only getting better.
Yeah, they just keep upgrading it, right? So
I mean, with the kind of updates that they're putting into this thing's going to be almost AAA quality when they're done with this update. Like
yeah,
it's already visually stunning.
I
And
think
to have the mechanics and the sound to match that is going to be crazy.
I think about the people coming into VR right now. Like I feel almost a little bit salty. Like they're coming in, they're getting all this really cool shit right off the bat, and they're spoiled. They don't know the tech demos. They don't know all the hoops us early adopters had to jump through to even get into VR. Uh, it's crazy.
It kind of makes you appreciate the Quest as a platform, right? Because I mean, we often criticize them how strict they are with the curation of their store. But the things that we talk about when we talk about PlayStation are the lack of friction, the high quality. Um, I mean, this is largely what people who are adopting VR today are experiencing with Oculus Quest 2. So there is something to be said for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Dark Angel says she's always heard good things about that game. About this game. How many people can play together? Is it only two?
I think so. I think it's just two
All right.
at the moment. Not to say that won't get updated later, but I do think it's just two players right now.
Okay.
Technically, says I just want to make a fire while I watch you guys fish. Well, it sounds like we need to play the forest.
Yeah, that, or the Green Hell that's coming out soon, right? Or
Uh,
I guess it's already out, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, no, it's coming out early next year. Green Hill. Onakazi says, "Don't know how awkward the Razor Hydra was to use." Yeah, this is something that I wasn't aware of until I don't know last 6 months. I learned about this Razor Hydra motion controller that was out with the DK1 era. The way I learned about it is I was researching Crashland and the early iterations of that game on PC, and the earliest iteration of it didn't have motion controls, and then people modified it to use the Razer Hydra controllers,
Hmm,
and that was when Crashland really became something cool.
that's crazy.
Is the Game Cat says I think it's 4 player. Well, I guess now
We gotta look.
we gotta look.
We gotta find out.
Uh, So
Thanks,
just
Diz. Thanks a lot,
stop
bro. Oh,
stop your typing, Simplex, and let me look this up so we can make sure we get it right. All right.
he's not watching it
Real.
live. He's in the he's playing Deathloop, or what's that one game? I think it's Deathloop that everybody
Yeah,
keeps
just came
talking
out.
about. Yeah.
Forever Ball, the daily deal, peeps. Get in on your Forever Ball if you haven't already. All right, let's just do this the easy way and search it.
How cool would it be if you went into this fishing game and you went in and there was just people everywhere. Like there was no space. Like real life when you go to fish and there's like every how is it 6 feet or whatever, there's people just all the way up and down the thing and you're like, okay, there's nowhere to fish. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that has not been my experience with fishing. Like we don't go fishing places where there's people all down the shoreline.
Yeah, but see, I guess it just depends on where you live and what's available. Sometimes you have what you have. Right?
That's true. I've never ever done that, but I guess that's true. Some people might be in that situation. All right. I have seen a lot of people, at the boat dock when we go push off to get in the water. Obviously, there's a lot of people putting their boats in the water, but when I'm fishing off the bank, typically I'm pretty secluded. I don't know, man. I can't find a thing. It just says multiplayer. It says single user multiplayer and co-op. Um, it doesn't say on the Oculus Quest website.
Hmm. Well, I guess
Let's see here.
let us know in the comments below. You know, hopefully
Okay.
we're. I see. I don't know. I never heard if there was more than two.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no indication that's easy to find anywhere. So I don't know. I guess we could ask Google as a last ditch here. Hey, Google. Alexa. I wish I had Alexa in here with me. How many players in real VR? Bam. Up to 4 players available in one room. So there you go.
All right. Well, there you go.
Real,
Right. We just got our
real
4
VR
right there.
thing.
Mash Daddy says, let's get in there, fellas, for a money show. And Jim Hall follows up and says, I want to be the 4th. Well, he said 4,
Boom.
but I'm throwing Jim Hall in there with us.
Done. Absolutely. So this thing comes out on October 20th. Um, shortly thereafter, I say we do it.
You know who else prefers it when there's 4 people?
My mom!
Oh, yeah, she does.
Absolutely, she does. I mean, she just got all excited when we went from 2 to 4.
She just got real excited.
All right, man, that's awesome. So some interesting content ahead for you guys. That'll be at the ass end of our horror marathon throughout the month of October. We'll be kicking straight out of blood and guts to some nice, slow, calm co-op fishing.
How
So
cool
you
would it
heard
be
it
if
here first.
they brought this game with RE7 together? You're just peacefully fishing, and all of a sudden Jack comes out. Fuck, man. Have to beeline it out of there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was, or like Jason can come up out of the water, like in Friday the
That's
13th
right.
3. Anyway, let's move on to Larcenauts. This past week, Impulse Gear announced that its VR hero shooter Larcenauts is getting another free content update soon. The Zarius heist will come at the end of September and will bring with it Roots private lobbies, along with a new specialist, a brand new map, and a new game mode called Payload. The new Payload objective mode will be the game's 4th mode, joining Deathmatch, Refuel, and Uplink that were available at launch. The 3 update is coming on September the 30th, and Impulse Gear has stated that additional details will be coming very soon. Roots, I have all these games that are right here on the top of our coverage list. The Larcenauts is right here, like we were just talking about getting into Larcenauts this week. Uh, Apparently, maybe we should wait a week to do that because in 11 days, Larcenauts is going to have substantially more content available.
Yeah, I think it's better. That way, it also showcases the game when the developers probably would want us to showcase it, right? When a new thing's dropping. I think it's a good
Right,
idea.
and besides that, the one thing that really keeps me out of this game when I'm looking for something to play, and I see Larcenauts, I think, man, I want to play Larcenauts. Let's get in there. But wait, I'm a noob, and this is a multiplayer game, and there's going to be a bunch of people in there I don't know. They're going to kick my ass, and I'm not even going to learn how to play. Now the game's going to have private lobbies. So now I can grab Roots, I can grab Masher and Technoglitch and Voidcat and Drew and whoever else wants to come from our community, Wolveraza. And we can all go in there and I could say, hey guys, take it easy on me. I'm trying to learn these controls. And then they'll kill me anyway. But it'll be funny. At least it'll be funny. And then we can talk about it on the next episode.
I think you'll own them. They think they got you, Wes.
I'm just playing possum, man. I'm already like a pro at this thing, and they don't even know it.
He's
I
got to go.
think this game looks great, man. I think that a lot about what I like about Pop One is in this game, but there's a lot of difference in it too, especially with the rule sets and the emphasis that they place on character. Um, all these characters, they're not just a blank slate. These all have special abilities, special backstory. It's not a story-driven game, but it's a game which takes place within a story. If that makes any sense, this world, these characters, it's a unique thing, especially in VR.
Yeah. Yeah, find your favorite character. I don't know if you'll be the guy with the shield or not, but he's pretty badass.
I don't know. I'll learn more about it as we go into it in the coming week or two, the coming days. I'll learn more about the different character classes and try a few of them out. Um, I'm hoping that there's a single player training mode at least that I can get into over the next few days just to get a feel for it and get a little bit of time in the game before we go live with people.
I think you can play with bots. I'm not sure, but you do have to unlock different characters too. So if you want to play or figure out which ones you're going to want to play, you're going to want to go in there and do that beforehand, or else you're going to be stuck with what you have, right?
Right, right. And, I don't know which characters I'm going to want to play as, but I do know which one I'm not going to want to play as. And that's that one that melees people, the guy that's punching
He's
people.
punching
That,
everybody. Dude, that's a
that just
powerful
don't look
punch.
fun to me. I bet it's like Path of the Warrior, where you walk up to people and push a button to punch them.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember now, to be honest. But definitely a fun, fast-paced game.
PD checking out says I have to run later. All thanks for the show. Thanks for stopping by, PD. It's super late there, and we appreciate it. I just wanted to mention that really quickly. Larcenauts, the Zarius heist. Uh, you know, Larcenauts content already was about to come to the channel, but now it is certainly getting a whole lot more interesting. And I meant what I said, guys. We're going to need people in these private lobbies. So if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord because that's where we'll put these games together when the time comes.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to our last topic of the day, Captain Toonhead versus the Punks from Outer Space. A new Oculus Quest listing for Captain Toonhead versus the Punks from Outer Space has surfaced recently, revealing that the title is scheduled for release later this month. Developer Television Games describes the title as a true first person tower defense designed for VR. But this is not your diorama style VR tower defense. In Captain Toonhead, you'll move all over the map, hammering away to upgrade your towers while throwing overpowered shanklas recklessly. You'll take manual control of your towers to unleash streams of heavy metal powered hot sauce and shoot electric beams from your weaponized pizza at your enemies. After the squad sent by the WTF got fried in the burrito incident, it
Mm.
falls to Elliot Salazar, the cartoon obsessed facility technician and the only survivor, to save Earth. There's a new captain on board, Captain Toonhead, the hero that we got stuck with. Um, the game promises a balance of action and strategy, as shooting alone will not defeat the waves of cyber chickens and terror sharks. Roots, I look forward to checking this one out as these obviously very creative developers continue to use VR to redefine traditional gaming genres. So, like tower defense, something that I was never interested in, something I never liked before VR. But Jenny and Thaco Trial by Spire opened my eyes a bit to what a little bit of innovation along with the right headset can do for a genre like this. And I think that this Captain Toonhead is just more of what made Jenny and Thaco so great. It's not a traditional tower defense game. It's a whole new kind of tower defense game. And this one looks like it's action packed and it's just as much about the action as the strategy.
Looks entertaining. I don't know much about Captain Tuna, but it definitely looks colorful and looks like I'm going to be thinking, what the hell is going on here? Um, and like you said, it gives you a different take on the this whole genre, which is pretty cool, right? It's I'm not much into tower defense either, but a tower defense kind of, to me, at least in this is like a first person shooter, wave shooter slash puzzle game, because the tower defense is you're constantly trying to figure out the best way to take out these waves, right? You get a little bit further, and then maybe this got some story that gets unfolded, but definitely looks interesting to me as well.
Yeah, it looks very detailed too, like with the progression systems and things that they have in play here. Obviously, we don't have details of it yet, but just from the look of it, uh, it looks like the gameplay is action based. But if you're not very engaged at a strategic level, you're not going to make it very far.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Onikazi says, weaponized pizza, cowabunga, like who doesn't want weaponized pizza?
Right, right, right. Yeah, this game looks like it was pulled straight out of the '90s, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even like the color palette. Like these guys know what they're doing. Um, we're looking at maybe getting these guys on Roots. Like I was talking to their studio a couple of months back, and they're certainly eager to come on and talk about their game. So we might have to have these dudes on. They certainly seem, from the looks of their game, to be interesting individuals.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I always like to pick the brains of creators, right?
Yeah, especially brains that put forth things like this. I mean, obviously these guys are engaging in a little bit of recreational activity in their spare time, because most people aren't wired to come up with stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, no, man, this looks like it's going to be a game that's going to be easy to pick up but difficult to master. One of the things with Jenny and Thaco was it wasn't the easiest game to learn how to play. Like they put you through a fairly detailed tutorial that you forget most of by the time you get in the game, and then you kind of have to relearn everything on the spot. This looks like a game where it's not going to take much to get up and running, but the more you learn about it, the better you're going to do. So there's going to be incentive to learn the finer details of the strategy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely looks like there's more to it than just shooting, but it doesn't look like overly, crazy. So
Right. It looks like something you can pick up and beat a few levels of before you hit that wall with the strategy.
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I've been very interested in this since I first saw the reveal trailer. Glad to see that this game's coming within 2 weeks. Roots within 2 weeks. We're gonna have our hands on this. What do you think? Do you think there's going to be any kind of advantage to playing this on PC? I don't see anything that looks particularly um, that like out of the ability of the Quest headset. I think everything we're looking at here. I think the experience is probably going to be similar regardless of which platform you play on.
Should be pretty close, 1-to-1. I can't imagine. Doesn't look like it's doing anything that Quest couldn't do, right? So
Kind of like an almost Deathlap look to it.
yeah, well, hopefully they stick around longer than the devs of Deathlap. Just kind of
Right.
disappeared off the face of the earth.
True. So yeah, and I would expect that. This is obviously a labor of love for these guys, so I wouldn't see them cutting ship anytime soon unless
No,
they
that was
really.
weird for them. Like that's not normal for any dev, right? You put a lot of time and money and effort into this. So I think this looks cool.
Yep. Anyway, we're gonna know soon. Again, due to release this month, we don't have a day on it. This game could come tomorrow, Roots.
Crazy.
But more on that as it takes place.
All right.
And with that said, we now get into the week's reminders. And we're going to start off the way we always do with what's out this week, besides Captain Toonhead, which could be out right now. Who the hell knows? September. It's going to be out in September. But what is out this week, Roots, is a little game called Bean Stalker. This is a game from VR Storm Studio, releasing September the 20th, tomorrow, on Steam VR. Roots, I've been seeing Beanstalker for a while now, and I always just kind of snickered and went on. I never really looked at it, what it was. I just figured it was some kind of Steam VR shovelware until the last few days when I actually looked at this game and what it was. This thing looks awesome, man. This is a VR climbing game. But unlike a game like The Climb, there's more to it than just climbing. You're climbing up these big beanstalks, which are covered with environmental hazards and even enemies that you're going to have to fight off. And in addition to that, there's progression. You're looting as you climb up this thing, so that you can progress your character and your weapons to unlock new areas to climb and to take out more advanced enemies that you will meet on the way up. Um, this is what climbing has always needed, in my opinion. Something else to do besides climbing.
Yeah, climbing is great. Just it can't be the whole game. You know what I mean? And but yeah, this thing actually looks really cool. It says it's available now on Steam. As far as we haven't checked it out.
Well, it's available tomorrow from the information that I have. So, unless it was out in early access or something
Mm,
before, which certainly could be the case. Like I said, I've kind of intentionally ignored this game, and I feel like kind of an idiot now because this looks really fun. And we've seen with other games before, like Good Goliath, just how much fun can be had in these indie releases on Steam VR. If you'll just get in there and give them a shot. This certainly doesn't look like shovelware. It looks like something that a lot of time and thought has went into. And one of the things the people that have played it have said, they talk about how detailed the progression systems in the game are, which is amazing because, again, at heart, this is a climbing game.
yeah, that's crazy. Gaming science teacher says, "Ugh, no thanks. Not impressed." And Onikaze says that he saw a Quest logo in there.
You probably did that. That's not such an uncommon thing anymore, right? Like, generally, we get these kind of things releasing on PC. There is some kind of Quest counterpart to it somewhere, normally Apple App.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think I'm like you. I this was off my radar. I just kind of I thought this was an older game for some reason, and then all of a sudden I saw PD had done a video, and then this was coming out, and I was like, "Oh shit, man, this is like new. This is something I didn't even know about."
Traveling Man 775 says, with Link, they said they were denied access to the Quest store.
Hmm, not a surprise.
App Lab, App Lab, bro, bring it to App Lab. Oh, yeah. Decepticon in the house, Roots. Anyway, are you there, Roots?
I
You
am.
froze up for a minute. Okay, yeah. Well, I had a little hiccup here on my video feed. Anyway, okay. What else is out this week? Well, I mean, we've got other stuff too. You might have heard of this next one. It's called Rhythm of the Universe Ionia. This releases on September the 23rd from Row2 Entertainment on Steam VR as well as PlayStation VR. Been looking forward to this one for a long time, Roots. Just because the pre release footage looks so beautiful.
Yeah, I hope it's as good as it looks, man, because it does look amazing, right?
Yeah, and I'm hearing good things, Roots. I'm hearing good things about it. And just a quick programming note, this is going to be our topic du jour on the virtual show this Wednesday. The day before the game comes out. The game comes out on Thursday. We're going to be talking about it on Wednesday. So be sure to tune in then. We're going to have some stuff to say about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, one of the things I was worried about with this, Roots, is that we know it's episodic. And generally, when you get something that's episodic with super high production values, the way this has, is typically tends to be very short. We were worried about this game maybe being 2 hours long. Well, I'm happy to say some of the things I've learned in recent days is that it's not that short. Like this game is uh, only getting started at the 2 hour mark. So
Wow.
I wouldn't call it long. I'm not sure exactly how long it is, but I know it's not just a couple hours and done. Probably going to get at least 4 or 5 hours out of this thing.
Nice. Looks amazing.
It does look amazing, and we're going to talk more about it this Wednesday. So, again, if you haven't already, hit the bell and the button so that you can be informed when we go live. So, if that's what we're talking about on Wednesday, what are we going to be talking about on Thursday? Thursday? What? Thursday? We don't do content on Thursday. What am I saying? Well, every now and then something happens that's a special occasion, and we'll put out some bonus content. Well, say that it's likely this week, Roots, as we finally will be getting our hands on The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Aftershocks update from Skydance Interactive. This game also launches on the 23rd of September on all platforms. So Quest, PSVR, PCVR, what have you. This highly anticipated DLC launching this Thursday, Roots.
Wow. That's crazy, man. We're finally here, right? So that means gaming I always want to say gaming science teacher. Gamer chick is actually going to get to finally take a break. We haven't seen her for so long 'cause she's been plugging away on this game forever, right?
Right. Well, that's the idea, right? I mean, she's certainly been a little bit spotty in her attendance lately, so I
I hope
imagine that
so.
this is why that from working on Aftershocks. Hopefully, we didn't offend her. Actually, I know better than that. I shouldn't even say that. I still talk to her quite frequently behind the scenes, but I never have quite asked her. You know, where you been? I assume it's because she's busy with work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gaming science teacher says, "Wow, they just keep churning out updates for this game." Yeah, and this one's going to be like unlike any other update it's ever seen. Hours upon hours of new content, new weapons, new characters, new story missions. For one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah. Wes is excited, man. Been waiting for this, right?
Absolutely, and going to have a lot to say about this one this week as well. So again, button the bell so that you can stay up with all of this awesome content coming this week.
Absolutely.
Probably going to stream this one too.
It's the perfect one, right?
I mean, I just streamed the entire game. You know what I mean? I just streamed like the whole 15 hours
You
of it.
you
So,
thought you streamed the entire game. Now you've got
right.
more.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Can't wait. All right. That's going to bring us into the week's wish list. This is the part of the show where we ask you all to help us support these developers by taking a moment with us right now in real time to go wish list one of these games that we've been talking about today. Or it could be something that we haven't talked about at all. Maybe something else that's on your mind. Anyway, it's a big deal for these developers. It really helps their game get noticed, and it helps them to track the interest in their games. So, would you all please right now join us as we go and wish list one of these titles? And
Beanstalker.
that's exactly where I was going, bro. I want to go wish list Beanstalker because I have not given this game the attention it deserves.
Spry guy slides in, says, "I made it. I've been here the whole time, bro. What are you guys talking about?" It's like that kid in class that, slid in and pretended like they were there the whole time. What's up, Spry guy?
What's up, Spry Guy? Thanks for coming by. We're just talking about Beanstalker, bro.
Yeah,
How
who doesn't
the
love Beanstalker, right?
how much better this game looks than the Climb.
Yeah,
Looks better than the Climb, Roots. Looks
I think
like a
it
lot more
looks
fun.
a lot more fun.
So it's an early access game. It is not available to download.
What?
Its release date is tomorrow. It will unlock in approximately 15 hours.
Okay.
And it is now firmly in my wish list. So I don't know. We might have to contact our friends here at VR Storm Studio, our future friends at VR Storm Studio, and see if maybe they'll let us show the game off to our community here.
That'd be cool. Wolverasa says he just wishes they could turn off the stamina part of the Walking Dead game. If they got rid of the stamina, then it would be like Onslaught. You just be walking around stabbing everybody. There'd be. It's like people that say they don't want the weapons to break. Like everything balances itself out. I understand though the stamina sucks. I wish you could like maybe grow your stamina over time, like something
You
that
can.
what's that?
You can. You can
Wow.
unlock stuff through your progression at the tables out there to grow your stamina bar.
Oh.
Furthermore, you can buy or you can unlock recipes for food items which affect your stamina bar in a
Hmm.
very positive
I
way
guess
as
I
well.
never unlocked enough stuff, Wes. I think that was my problem.
Yeah, I have no problem with the stamina bar. It would be one thing if it was a super complicated mechanic and hard to deal with, but it's not. It's just you can't run too much or you're going to get tired. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of like you see these movies where people fall out of a window and they're hanging on the ledge and they're hanging there for about 10 minutes, and realistically in real life you'd be there about 30 seconds. 30 seconds,
Right.
maybe less. You're going to end up dropping. And so like it's like what how realistic can you make it? You're not going to run around all the time and never get tired, right? Like you're going to have to stop in real life too. So
In fact, in real life, you'd get tired quicker because of your adrenaline. Your adrenaline would up your metabolism and make you get tired a lot faster.
that's true. Can you imagine the adrenaline of trying not to die by zombie? Oh, that's crazy.
Dark Angel says, I wish listed the fish. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. fi-
Machete, already done.
Fishing is definitely good to wish list. Rhythm of the
Uh,
Universe. If you don't have that wish listed, I think what's wrong with you?
yeah, I say Beanstalker's the no brainer, but it's because I already have Rhythm of the Universe on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to play it.
Well, Raza says, still need to get Onslaught. Probably will like it a lot more. You know, you may. Most people don't. But, I mean, the things you're saying about The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, obviously that's not your type of game. So Onslaught might be. It's more arcade style for sure. Um, although, I mean, can you get tired in that? I think maybe, I don't know. I don't remember.
I can't either. I just know that there has the fog of red or whatever. That's the beauty of life, right? Everybody's different, and just because you don't like a game doesn't mean that somebody else might not love it. It might be their favorite game, right? So,
Right. Absolutely. Anyway, that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support our community and our channel. Of course, if you're new to the channel, the easiest way to do so is by clicking that big red button and that bell. What that will do is it will allow you to stay up to date with all of our ever increasing content here on Virtual Strangers, news, reviews, gameplay. We do it all here. We do it all on different days. Um, and we're doing it more and more frequently. So if you haven't already, be sure that you are subscribed and don't forget to hit that bell. Another way to stay up to date with what we're doing here on the channel is by joining our Discord server. We generally typically announce everything we're doing on there hours ahead of time. And beyond that, the conversation flows all day, every day. We talk VR, we talk life, we hang out, and we get together to play multiplayer games. All this and more on the Discord server, and you'll find your invitation to our Discord in the description down below. And last but not least, I'm sorry, I got something in the chat caught my attention there. Last but not least, for those of you out there who have been around from day one or around for years at this point, and you want to do a little something extra, you want to help us get to the next level, which is something that we are actively trying to do right now. We're trying to get to the next level. You can help us with that by supporting us on Patreon, but the support isn't all one way. It's both ways. What you get for your $3 per month donation is you get access to our weekly show notes, which reads like a newsletter, in addition to insider updates and exclusive content. It's certainly you get your $3 worth, and above all that, you get the peace of mind of knowing that you did your part to help build our awesome community, which gets more and more awesome by the day. So, Patreon, $3 per month. Big thanks to all of you out there who already support, and big things coming very, very soon. And I can't wait. And it's thanks to all of you guys. So, again, if you've supported us monetarily or just even by sharing the videos, thank you all. We really appreciate the support.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you're the person doing all the timestamps, we appreciate you as well.
Corporate
Yep.
Zombie does the timestamps.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Onakazi said, "Sorry, missed the game that unlocks in 15 hours. What was it? Beanstalker.
Bean
Beanstalker.
Stalker. That's multiplayer? No, I'm just kidding. That'd be cool, right?
It's it's a climbing game on Nakazi. Beanstalker is a climbing game with combat and looting and progression. It looks super cool, and I'm hoping to check it out really soon.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye now.
Take it easy.